Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm going to show you today the process behind building my EKKO cosplay from ARCANE. So first things first, I started on this apron thing he's got on. I took a brown apron and folded it in half, then folded it to be a triangle at the bottom, so it's kind of a narrower pointed apron, and I sewed it all together, so it was a couple layers of this thick brown apron. Once that was done, I moved on to the next thing, which is this leather belt he's got with pouches and things. I found a leather skirt thrifting, and I cut a section off, so I had this loop that I had cut open, and then I used the extra fabric to put these squares all over it that I sewed in place to basically be like pockets and loops and things, and then I wrapped that around myself as the leather belt. And next up is this orange handkerchief situation he's got on. I thrifted an orange t-shirt and cut a strip off the bottom, so I had a large orange loop. Then I cinched it up and sewed it so I had a smaller orange loop. Now we've got the iconic weapon. I cut up two different diameters of PVC pipe and inserted them into each other, so I had big, then little, then big again, taped it all off and spray painted it in two different colors. I had like this bronze color and this black color, so it looks like basically scrap pipe that EKKO had put together. And then I removed the tape, and this is how it looked. And it's time to do the stuff that goes on top, which is like this hook situation with some gears in it. So I had some extra foam from a package that came. I traced out the shape of the hook he's got on there, and then I used a hacksaw to cut that hook shape out. And the surface of the foam ended up being really rough and not the texture I was going for, so later on I ended up wrapping this in masking tape before I painted it. But once I had this hook, I cut out a circle in the bottom that fit onto my pipe and put it on the end, and it looked pretty good. So I cut out a gear out of some foam to be suspended in the middle basically, and I put a glue stick through it so it could rotate freely. Cut out these little circles from the gear just so it looks like in the show. And it's time for the gloves. For the gloves, I used some welding gloves, and then I painted foam with silver paint to look like metal, and I cut out studs that I glued onto the welding gloves to mimic those kind of brass knuckles that EKKO has, and I think these turned out really well. So back to the staff, I just painted the staff so that the gold on the head would match the gold on the stick, and it ended up looking pretty good. So while I was out there, I painted the hourglass onto the apron, but it just sucked up all of the spray paint immediately, so that didn't really work, but it did make a nice glow for me when I went back in and hand painted the hourglass. And I had some extra time, so I decided to make the firelight mask as well. So I cut out some pieces of foam, painted them in white and gold and black, and then I started to glue the pieces together, just all these little pieces stacked in different layers. For the mask, there was a video that really helped me. I wasn't really able to follow it because I didn't have the materials, but just having someone else's mask to look at was some really good reference. So once I had that all put together, my costume was basically done. So here is the big reveal.